One of the premises that I like to start when it comes to the negotiations is let people know, listen, I'm a real estate investor. I need to receive value from this transaction. Now, when it comes to value, there's only two things that matter to me, and it's not location. The two things that matter to me is equity or time. Now, you can either give me all of the value from the equity, or you can give me all of the value from the time component. If you give me all of the value from the time component, then I can pay you full fair market value or more. If you give me all the value from the equity, then I can get you cashed out right away. So it kind of depends on what you'd like. Now, the beautiful part is that it's not black and white. There is a huge amount of gray in the middle. And in this gray is where we're going to end up. What do I mean by that? Well, maybe you're not super comfortable giving me a whole lot of equity in the transaction. Or maybe you're not super comfortable giving me a whole lot of time, and that's okay. We can end up somewhere in the middle when it comes to the final look and feel of the purchase. We can end up somewhere in the middle, and most people kind of end up falling somewhere in the middle. And we're going to talk about, different options in regards to landing somewhere in the middle. But before we get into that, Mr. Seller, let's talk about the metrics, the polar opposites. If you're going to want to keep all your equity, I'm happy to give it to you. I'm going to need 15 years to pay. So what we would do is we would take the full fair market value, divide it into 180 equal monthly payments, and this would give you guaranteed cash flow for the next 15 years. That is assuming you want to keep all the equity. You don't want to give me any of the equity on the sale. I totally get it. The polar opposite is I would need 15 years to repay. If you're okay with that, we can move forward. And I always have a calculator handy with me because I like to tell them what numbers look like. So for example, Mr. Seller, full fair market value on the property, if it appraises for the $650,000 that you're asking, we would take the $650,000, we would divide it by 180 equal monthly payments. And it looks like it would be about $3,611.11. I hate dollars and cents. Can we just round that up to, I always round up in their favor, to $3,615. That's what it would look like for you on a monthly basis. Does this sound like something you'd like to move forward with? And shut up. Before you move on, literally I can make up 1,000 different proposals. By the way, I call them proposals, not offers. But it's super important that before you move on to a different proposal, you get a no on that proposal and let them know that it's totally okay to say no. But I always like to ask, hey, does this sound like a proposal? If it does, you might have stopped your negotiation there. I mean, you could have. We have stopped negotiations there like, well, $3,600 per month.
In my mind, at that point, someone would be like, why the hell wouldn't I just take $650 right now?
That's a great question because no one is giving it to you.
Oh,
that's really the reason why. I mean,
right.
If you are, again, we're making the assumption that $650,000 is the full fair market value. Obviously, if it's discounted, then you're giving me equity, and maybe we can, meet somewhere in the middle. I just went from the standpoint that $650,000 is the full fair market value. Basically,
I see what you're saying.
You're not giving me any equity, and I'm okay with that. Does that kind of answer your question?
Yeah. Tell me on the backside, how do you make money if you're buying something at market value and then you're going to sell? Oh, you're selling it on terms at market value. So then you're making the interest on top of the terms.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you could take an amortization calculator and go ahead and plug in $650,000. And just for the sake of simplicity, we're going to go ahead and plug in 10% to 30 years. That is going to give you approximately $5,700. I'm just going to round it up, $5,705 per month. So if you take $5,705 coming in, and what did we say? 3,600, I think, going out. That's a cash flow of about $2,095 per month.
Yep. So let's break that down.
Plus, presumably, if you're smart, and I hope you are, I mean, it seems like it's a smart room, you probably at least took a 10% down payment. So that's an extra $65,000 in your pocket. Plus a monthly cash flow of $2,095 per month, if I did my math right. If someone wants to correct me on the math, you're more than welcome to, but I think I ballparked it right. Now, Our arrangement with the seller, this is the beautiful part. Our arrangement with the seller is only for 15 years. So what happens on year 15? The entire $5,705 is yours for the next 15 years. Because when you sold it, you did it to 30 years. So if you're looking at rough math, the first 15 years, it's only going to be $2,095. That's about $377,000 for the first 15 years. But then the second 15 years, it's going to be $5,705 coming in, which is going to produce another $1,026,000. Zero money out of your pocket.
Yep.
Because you purchased it. Basically, zero down, 0% interest rate. And that is the sauce.
That is
if the seller says yes to the proposal, what they are inadvertently saying yes to is zero down, 0% interest. Because you took full fair market value, you divided it into a payment plan of 180 equal monthly payments.